What's the difference? Number of pages, interaction. I have an opt-in of 5 pages and an upsale of 3 small books of an average 10 pages each to print out or to keep for reference, or not. So many keep on their tablet. Trying to figure out the terminology for advertising.
Let's talk about an opt-in that's 5 pages long, guys. I don't know if you caught our video that we did inside of the last week. We did opt-in reviews, and then there was a big video that we did on opt-in reviews, and I can't remember who it was. There was somebody who had an incredible freebie. It was like 5 different, completely different products, essentially, that were in there, and it was bundled together. It was probably like, what, 20 pages? Like 15, 20 pages or something.
Raise your hand if you're guilty.
Raise your hand if this was you. When we're talking about an opt-in, we need to address that first before we talk about ebooks and printables. When we're talking about an opt-in, it should be like a freebie that you're giving away 1 to 3 pages max. And one of those 3 pages is a cover. Anything more than that, and you have a product. So that's number 1. Number 2, there is nothing wrong with having a printable or an ebook or whatever you want to call it on your site that you have for sale. An ebook is what I would think of a printable. I have visual aids. This is a printable. So here's my printable. It's a workbook style book. If I was to have an ebook, which I have another visual aid, this is technically a printable as well but it would be like more text pages. An ebook is, I think of like reading, just reading. That's it. As far as printables versus ebooks, there are no minimums. There are no maximums. You make those rules. If you want to have an 800-page ebook, you go for it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Even if it's only 10 pages, I would call it an ebook. If you have, if you're getting, well, I wouldn't call it an ebook. I would call it an ebooklet. If it's only 10 pages, because she's looking for terminology for her sales page.
Yeah.
So if it's only 10 pages, I would call it a booklet. Printables, I call them planner pages or checklists or
workbook.
Yeah,
my people call it workbooks. And again, Tracy's taught me this though, guys. Everybody's niche has different things that would convince them that the same kind of product, like a workbook to me, Tracy's people would run away if I called it a workbook. You can't say the word workbook or guide. Exactly. Worksheets, things that I would say would trigger Tracy's people to be like, next, nope. Yes.
If I use workbook, my declutterers are like, yeah, I don't want to fill out anything. I just don't have time for that. I just want the clutter gone.
Yeah.
So that's my people.
As far as like the jargon goes, like what words I would use, if it's a book that you read, it would be an ebook guide, mega ebook bundle, ultra helpful, mega super awesome ebook. But if it's an action, then it would be a printable variation. That to me is the difference. An ebook is for reading. A printable is for taking some kind of an action, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think I want to answer this. This is from Jennifer. It wasn't me, but my freebie is very similar and very large. I call it my Trim Healthy Kitchen. I guess I need to make the freebie smaller and put the current freebie in my shop. Here is what I did with my first ebook. It was Save Money on Grocery Shopping. I don't even know what it is. I still sell it, but I don't remember the name of it because it's so old. But my freebie, I got this tip from somebody, I can't remember who, but my freebie was the table of contents. That was my freebie. 10 ways to save money in the grocery store. And because each chapter covered a different area in the grocery store. So my freebie was that. And then my tripwire was the ebook where, hey, if you love this list, learn my tips for every single area of the grocery store. And that's how I did it. So my freebie was the table of contents. And then my tripwire was the ebook. So there you go.
Guys, there's so many different ways that you can market your things, but ultimately it comes back to you have to know who your people are and what they resonate with. if your people, if the concept of calling something work will scare them away, then don't do it. If the idea of giving them a meal plan excites them, then call it that. Don't call it a recipe book. Call it a meal plan, even though it would basically be the exact same thing.
The words that I use with my people are different than the words that Caroline uses with her people because we know their language. And the only reason why we know is because we've done the homework, we've done the avatar in the members area in Podia. We have done the exact walkthrough workbook that we give you in there because knowing the language that resonates with your people is imperative if you want them to sign up for your freebie, if you then want them to buy your tripwire, if you then want them to invest in your full product. You have to know their language. And my people's language is going to be completely different. My decluttering and organizing people's language is going to be completely different than Pam's decluttering and organizing people's language because the people are different. So you have to know what resonates with your people on every single platform.
You really do, because that's the key. I think if you're feeling like you're not having enough people signing up for your opt-ins, or if you're not like getting anybody to convert on your tripwires, on your products, all of those different kinds of things, come back to what is that one word that you're using to describe what it is that you're selling and or giving away or anything like that. Tracy taught me that a few years ago. That's what it was. I was calling my freebie an ebook at the time because, again, it was, I guess, technically like that was the thing to call everything. And Tracy's like, but they don't want to read. They want something that's actually going to give them the steps to take that's going to change their life. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then I called it a workbook and my opt-in rates just skyrocketed. So it's just one of those things where it does kind of come back to what are the words that are going to make your people want to click. Would the concept of sitting down and reading a 70-page ebook excite them or overwhelm them? Or would they be more excited about the concept of a 100-page printable pack? Would that overwhelm them or would that excite them? Would that get them ready to buy? Or again, would that just seem more trouble than it's worth? That's kind of my thinking on it. It all goes back to what works best inside of your niche for your people. And yeah, sometimes, you know what? It does take some trial and error. Sometimes it does take some like throwing spaghetti. It's calculated spaghetti. I have to coin that phrase, is calculated spaghetti. It has to be like, you know what your people need. You just need to tweak the words a little bit. That's all. And sometimes it does take a few months of like sending out the exact same sales page over and over and over with guide, workbook, printable pack, mega ebook, whatever it is, and just sending it out and seeing what makes most people buy. Sometimes that's all it takes.